Beloved chosen one, pause for a moment. Heaven has quieted the noise of your world just to reach you right now. You did the right thing. When temptation whispered its easy promises, when compromise stood smiling before you, you chose the narrow way. You obeyed God when it cost you comfort, when it made no sense to the people around you, when it seemed like silence was your only reward. But hear this, heaven saw it. Every act of obedience you made in secret has thundered across eternity. You could have followed the crowd. You could have surrendered your standards just to fit in. But something inside you refused to bow. That something was divine DNA proof that you are not ordinary, that you are set apart. God tested your heart in the hidden place that you passed. Your quiet yes to God was louder than the applause of 1,000 men. You obeyed when no one clapped for your faithfulness. You forgave when the wound was still fresh. You walked away from what glittered but was never gold. Heaven called it obedience. Hell called it defeat. And because you chose righteousness over recognition, God is preparing to reward you in a way that will silence every doubt. Listen carefully. Obedience is not just a command, it is a key. It unlocks doors that prayer alone cannot open. You didn't lose when you said no to compromise, you invested. You didn't miss out when you waited on God, you positioned yourself. The pain of obedience is temporary, but the fruit of it is eternal. You have been in a season where it looked like your faithfulness went unnoticed. Others seemed to prosper while you wrestled with delay. But you were never behind, you were being refined. Heaven was calibrating your destiny. The silence was not punishment, it was proof that God trusted you with stillness. He wanted to see if your faith could thrive without evidence. And now, heaven whispers, it's time. The scale is tipping. The seed of obedience you buried is beginning to break open beneath the soil. What was once hidden is stirring. Your yes is about to echo back to you in blessings that can no longer be contained. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3. For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it linger, wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay. This ancient truth now breathes over your life. The waiting has not been wasted. Your obedience has aligned perfectly with the appointed time. What seemed delayed is about to appear right on schedule. The promise is maturing. The reward is ripening. Heaven is in motion, and your patience has become prophecy. Chosen one, do not doubt the worth of your obedience. Every moment you said, Lord, I trust you, was written in heaven's record. Every tear you cried in surrender watered the ground of your breakthrough. You did not lose anything. You sowed everything. The God who sees in secret is now preparing to reward you openly. So lift your head. You are not forgotten. You are favored. The same obedience that kept you hidden will now usher you into visibility. Divine recognition is coming not from people, but from God Himself. Your name has been spoken in rooms you have not entered yet. The reward for your faithfulness is on its way, and it carries your signature. If this message speaks to your spirit, take this as your moment of confirmation. Hit like, share, and subscribe not as routine, but as your prophetic act of connection. This is how you declare, I am ready to receive what obedience has prepared for me. And before you scroll away, write this number below 777, a number of divine completion and heavenly fulfillment. Let it mark this moment in faith as a symbol that you still choose obedience even when it costs you. You have passed the silent test. Heaven is proud. Your reward is already on the move. Chosen one, the unseen battles you fought were not signs of abandonment. They were the sacred fields where heaven measured your strength. You bled in silence while smiling in public. You kept faith alive when hope flickered like a dying candle. And though the world never applauded your perseverance, the courts of heaven erupted each time you chose to trust God again. These were not ordinary trials. They were divine appointments, tailor-made to shape the warrior within you. You wondered why the pressure was so heavy, why peace seemed delayed. It was because God was strengthening the spiritual muscles that comfort could never build. Every storm trained you to hear His whisper. Every disappointment refined your discernment. Every heartbreak broke away the unnecessary, leaving behind the unshakable. You see, the hidden battles were not wasted, they were sacred. You learned to fight on your knees, to wage war through worship, to speak victory even when defeat stared back at you. Heaven looked upon your struggle and smiled, not because of your pain, but because your endurance echoed eternity. You have walked through fire and emerged without the smell of smoke. You have faced darkness and still carried light. You are proof that faith does not flee, it endures. There were moments when you asked, "Why me?" Lord, and His silence felt like distance, but His silence was strategy. He was teaching you to recognize His presence even when you couldn't feel it. You thought you were losing ground, but you were actually being rooted deeper. Every sleepless night became a seed in His hands, planted in soil that will soon bloom into testimony. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14. The Lord will fight for you, you need only to be still. That verse was not written for the comfortable. It was written for the called. It is heaven's reminder that stillness is not weakness, it is surrender, and surrender is power. While you were fighting to survive, God was fighting to secure your victory. The unseen hand of the Almighty held back storms that were never meant to reach you. The very battles that seemed to break you were actually building you. Chosen one, every trial you faced in silence was heaven's way of promoting you without announcement. God wanted to prove to the enemy that your worship wasn't conditional, that your love wasn't transactional, and that your faith wasn't for sale. You stood your ground, not because it was easy, but because something inside you knew you were born for more. Now that same God who fought for Israel fights for you. The same sea that once threatened to drown you will part before your steps. You are not emerging from defeat, you are stepping out from divine training. The scars you carry are not marks of shame. They are medals of survival, proof that grace is real. Your unseen victories have weight in heaven. Every tear was heard, every cry recorded. The God who fought for you is now shifting your season. The battle is no longer about survival, it's about possession. You are crossing over from warfare to reward, from hidden struggle to visible glory. Remember this: what was forged in fire cannot be undone by fear. You carry the authority of endurance, the anointing of those who refuse to bow. And when heaven looks for examples of faith that conquers in silence, your name is written among them. You fought well, chosen one. You endured what would have broken others, and now God Himself declares the battle finished. Chosen one. Heaven remembers the moments you said no. The world did not see it, but the kingdom did. Those quiet refusals, the times you turned away from temptation, walked out of conversations that would have corrupted you, ignored the whispers that said, "Just this once," became the loudest worship you ever offered. Every no to sin was a yes to God, and every act of restraint was incense rising before His throne. You were tested not through dramatic scenes, but in the ordinary, a late-night message, a secret opportunity, a small compromise that could have cost your destiny. Yet you stood firm. That obedience was not weakness, it was warfare. Each time you resisted, angels stood taller beside you and darkness lost ground it had claimed. Heaven calls those moments holy victories, silent but powerful. Remember, the enemy rarely tempts you with destruction that looks destructive. He disguises danger as comfort, sin as self-expression, rebellion as freedom. But you saw through the disguise. You discerned that the same serpent who whispered to Eve still whispers now softly, strategically. You silenced him not with arguments but with obedience. You may have felt alone in those decisions, but the truth is, all of heaven leaned in to watch. Every time you whispered, "No. Lord, I will not," the spiritual realm shifted. You might not have realized it, but your obedience protected not only you, it preserved entire bloodlines. You stopped cycles of sin and suffering that would have continued had you given in. This is why your choices mattered so deeply. Obedience doesn't just bless you, it becomes generational protection. Somewhere down the line, a child will live freer because you refuse to compromise. You are breaking curses without even knowing it. Your private no has built walls of light around your lineage. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 16, verse 24. "Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me." This was not a call to comfort, but to courage. The cross you carried when you chose obedience was unseen but real. Every denial of self became a declaration of discipleship. Heaven never forgets such moments. You bore the weight of surrender, and now the reward approaches. God does not overlook a heart that says, "Yes to you, no to me." You see, obedience has a ripple effect. When you refuse to bow to temptation, you shift spiritual atmospheres around you. Demons lose authority where obedience stands. Light increases where holiness is chosen. That's why the struggle felt so intense. The enemy saw what your obedience could unlock and tried to break your resolve. But he failed. You endured. Now heaven whispers it was worth it. Every time you turned away, you built an altar. Every temptation you overcame became a testimony waiting to be told. God is now taking those private acts of faithfulness and weaving them into a public story of redemption. Chosen one, let this truth settle in your spirit. Your resistance was not in vain. You obeyed in weakness, but your obedience released power. And soon, you will see why the fight for purity, honesty, and faithfulness was so fierce, because what's coming next requires the integrity you protected. Now, as a prophetic act of agreement, I want you to comment these words below: "I choose holiness." Write it as your declaration, not just as text. When you type those words, you are reaffirming your covenant with heaven, aligning your voice with obedience once again. Let the spiritual realm recognize your decision, and let the darkness know it lost another battle tonight. You chose righteousness when rebellion was easier. You stood when surrender would have been simple. And because of that, heaven smiles and says, "Well done, faithful one, chosen one." What you planted in obedience has not been forgotten. Seeds sown in the dark soil of faith do not vanish. They rest, they root, and then they rise. Though you could not see movement beneath the surface, heaven was working in silence, preparing the ground for something extraordinary. The moments that felt buried were not endings, they were beginnings wrapped in disguise. You see, God often hides miracles inside seasons of stillness. The same way a seed must disappear beneath the earth before it can sprout. Your obedience had to go underground before its fruit could appear. You may have wondered, did it matter? Did it change anything? And heaven's answer is yes, it changed everything. Every act of surrender was a seed that carried divine potential. You sowed when others were hoarding. You gave when you barely had enough. You prayed when you felt drained. You loved when you had every reason not to. All of those moments were deposits into eternity. The world may have mocked your patience, but heaven documented your persistence. God has been watching, not as a distant observer, but as a gardener tending his most precious field. The growth you seek is not delayed, it is developing in silence. The soil of obedience is sacred because it is watered by faith. Every tear that fell during your waiting season became rain to nourish what you planted. The roots are growing deeper than your eyes can see, and when the time comes for them to break through, the harvest will be greater than you imagined. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 12. The Lord will open the heavens, the storehouse of his bounty, to send rain on your land in season, and to bless all the work of your hands. These are not poetic promises, they are spiritual laws. Rain follows obedience, blessing follows faithfulness. The same God who watered the fields of Israel has been watering the seeds you've sown in prayer, service, forgiveness, and perseverance. Even when you couldn't feel his hand, he was guiding the process. Understand this: what you planted will not return void. Your obedience did not fall into barren soil, it fell into holy ground. The waiting, the silence, the uncertainty, they were not proof that nothing was happening. They were the soundless rhythm of divine timing. Some blessings come instantly, but others require incubation because great fruit takes time to mature. You may look around now and see only empty fields, but something sacred is stirring beneath the surface. The same God who commanded the earth to bring forth vegetation is commanding your life to blossom. You are entering a season where invisible roots will produce visible evidence. The promises that once seemed distant will begin to bloom within reach. Be patient, chosen one. The silence of the soil is not the absence of life, it is the preparation for abundance. You will soon see why God asked you to wait, why he told you not to move when everything in you wanted to run. He was ensuring that your foundation could bear the weight of your harvest. When the first sprouts appear, they will come suddenly and all at once. What took years to grow will seem to manifest overnight. But remember, it is not sudden, it is simply the season catching up with your obedience. What you sowed in faith, you will reap in fullness. Hold steady in this in-between space. The earth beneath you is holy. Your patience is prophecy. Every yes you whispered in the dark is turning into a testimony of God's faithfulness in the light. The seed is not forgotten. Chosen one, it is alive, and heaven has declared it will grow. Chosen one. The delay was never denial. Heaven's clock does not tick like man's clock. While you stared at the stillness wondering if God had forgotten, he was aligning the stars behind the curtain. You mistook the silence for absence, but silence was his strategy. The pause was not punishment, it was protection. Do you remember the seed you planted in faith? It did not sprout when you expected, and doubt tried to whisper, maybe nothing will grow. But God was never ignoring you. He was cultivating what you could not yet see. He delayed the bloom so the roots could deepen. He allowed the waiting to build your wisdom. The fruit that takes longest to ripen is always the sweetest. There are prayers you thought God ignored, but they were not rejected, they were reserved. Some doors stayed closed because they were never meant for you, while others were being built in secret. The timing of heaven is precise, like an artist painting in layers. God adds color after color, detail after detail, until the masterpiece finally emerges. You are that masterpiece in progress. And now, you are standing at the edge of that divine unveiling. The season of silence has done its work. The tests, the tears, The delays, they have become the raw materials for your breakthrough. You are about to see how every not yet was really a wait and see. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9. Let us not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Those ancient words echo like a promise written with your name on them. You did not give up. You kept doing good when your reward was invisible. You sowed love when you had only pain to offer. You chose kindness when you had every reason to close your heart. And now, the harvest approaches not just of blessings, but of purpose fulfilled. Think of it like this: a farmer does not curse the field while waiting for rain. He tends the soil, trusting that the skies will open in their time. That is what you did. You continued to serve, to believe, to obey. And heaven took note. The clouds above you are heavy now, not with storm, but with blessing. Rain is coming, not to drown you, but to drench you in divine increase. As you stand in this moment, know that every act of patience, every unseen prayer, every quiet offering of your heart has been a donation into eternity's treasury. The kingdom counts such giving differently. Your words of encouragement, your acts of compassion, your unwavering faith, they are deposits of light in dark places. And as this message finds you, if it has watered your spirit like rain on dry ground, then let that same spirit move you to give back to nurture the very well that has refreshed you. When you like, share, or subscribe, you are not just clicking buttons, you are planting more seeds for souls to be reached, for lives to be restored. When you choose to donate, you become part of the rain that falls on others waiting for their own breakthrough. Think of your support as oil poured into the lamp of this mission, keeping the flame of faith burning for those still wandering in the dark. Your giving is not about obligation. It is about participation, joining in heaven's story of restoration. Every gift, every share, every word of encouragement you release adds light to the world God is awakening through you. Chosen one, you are living proof that delay is not defeat. You are the seed that survived the storm, the tree that refused to wither, the promise that would not die in the waiting. Now, heaven whispers once more, the time has come. Lift your eyes, the harvest field glows with morning light. What once was buried will now bear fruit, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Chosen one, can you feel it? The air around you has shifted. Something unseen is stirring in the atmosphere, like the first breeze that moves across still waters before a mighty storm of blessing. The prophetic winds of release have begun to blow. What was once locked is now trembling under the weight of heaven's command. You have carried promise through seasons of pressure, walking faithfully while doors seemed sealed. But now the rhythm of heaven beats differently. The waiting is over. The time of reward has begun. The Father has watched your endurance, your surrender, your steadfast heart, and He has declared that the winds of divine compensation must move on your behalf. This moment, chosen one, is not coincidence. It is convergence. Everything that has been delayed is aligning. The same Spirit that hovered over the waters in Genesis now hovers over your life again, ready to speak, ready to separate darkness from light, sorrow from joy, silence from song. Do not mistake this movement for chaos. What feels like sudden change is divine rearrangement. The winds that are blowing are not meant to break you, they are meant to bring you into position. God is clearing away the dust of old disappointments, sweeping aside the debris of delay and making room for fulfillment. You may feel the stirring in your spirit, that trembling sense of something imminent. It is the sound of answered prayers rushing toward you. You are standing in the threshold between what was promised and what is about to manifest. This is the hour of release, the appointed time when heaven returns what obedience earned. The ancient words recorded in Romans, chapter 8, verse 28. Remind us, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. Those words are not simply comforting, they are commanding. They declare that your suffering was not wasted, that every disappointment has been repurposed into destiny. The winds now move under that very promise, rearranging every piece of your life to fit the perfect design. The losses, the detours, the silence, each one has been woven into the story of your reward. Listen closely. Chosen one, the release you are sensing will not come as a whisper, it will come as a wave. Opportunities will appear where doors were shut. Resources will flow from unexpected places. People who forgot you will suddenly remember. The same wind that carries away pain will also carry in provision. And this time, you will not have to chase what belongs to you. The blessing will chase you. The favor that once seemed distant will now find you like the morning finds the dawn. Heaven's economy has no shortages, and your obedience has credited your account. You are not waiting for blessing. It is waiting for the signal to be released, and that signal has already been spoken. Be ready for motion. The same spirit that guided Joseph from prison to palace, that lifted Esther from obscurity to influence, that led David from pasture to throne, that spirit now breathes on your story. These winds are prophetic. They do not simply bring change. They announce fulfillment. You have weathered the stillness faithfully. Now you must stand in the movement courageously. Do not fear the unfamiliar sound of shifting ground beneath your feet. That is not instability. It is the tremor of transformation. Heaven is shaking loose everything that no longer fits the new season. Chosen one, let your heart be open and your faith alert. The wind of God does not blow without purpose. When it moves, it carries direction, deliverance, and destiny. These currents are divine carriers of what belongs to you. Lift your hands in surrender, and let the breath of heaven move through you. Now, as a prophetic act of agreement with this wind of release, I want you to comment the number 555 below. This is not superstition, it is symbolism. 5 is the number of grace, and 555 is a divine echo, grace multiplied, grace fulfilled, grace overflowing. When you write that number, you are declaring, God's wind is moving in my favor. I receive the release of what was held back. Let it be your sign in faith, a marker in time that heaven will remember. The winds have begun to blow. Chosen one. What was blocked is breaking open. What was silent will soon sing. The season of struggle has met its end, and the season of divine release has begun. Stand firm, breathe deep, and let the Spirit carry you into your reward. Chosen one, you passed the integrity test. When the world bent its rules to gain advantage, you stood upright. When shortcuts appeared disguised as blessings, you resisted them, knowing they were traps in holy wrapping. You chose character over convenience, truth over popularity, righteousness over reward, and heaven recorded it. Integrity is the currency of the kingdom. It cannot be counterfeited or imitated. It shines most brightly when no one else is looking, when your heart wrestles with quiet decisions that no one will ever know. You, chosen one, have faced those moments, times when you could have gained comfort by compromising your convictions. But you chose to honor God instead. That single choice over and over again has carved your name upon heaven's ledger. The throne of God values integrity more than success, and you have proven that your loyalty is not for sale. When you could have manipulated situations for personal gain, you waited for God's timing. When you could have spoken lies to protect yourself, you chose truth and faced the cost. Those decisions were not small, they were eternal. Integrity is not built in comfort, it is born in conflict. You learned this firsthand. The pressure revealed who you truly are. It proved that your faith is not a costume, it is your core. God watched as you chose silence over gossip, humility over pride, faith over fear. You may not have received applause for it, but heaven roared with approval. The Word of God declares in the book of Proverbs on chapter 10, verse 9, "Whoever walks in integrity walks securely, but whoever takes crooked paths will be found out." That verse is not a warning for you, it is a validation of you. You have walked securely through storms that could have crushed others. You remained steady when deceit could have gained you favor. You kept your soul clean while others dirtied their hands to climb higher. That is why your steps are protected now. Integrity has become your armor. Understand this: integrity may seem costly in the short term, but it always pays eternal dividends. You may have lost opportunities, relationships, or recognition because of your honesty, but heaven is preparing restitution. God does not allow a pure heart to walk empty-handed. The reward for integrity is not just peace, it is divine endorsement. When you speak, people will begin to listen differently because truth carries its own authority. When you act, doors will open naturally because integrity unlocks what manipulation cannot. You are now walking in a level of trust that only tested souls receive. God knows He can trust you with influence because you proved faithful in obscurity. Think of Joseph, how he refused the advances of Potiphar's wife and was thrown into prison for his righteousness. His integrity cost him his freedom for a time, but it positioned him for the throne. The same pattern runs through your story. What looked like loss was simply preparation for leadership. Heaven never wastes integrity, it multiplies its impact. Chosen one, hold your head high. Your quiet honesty has built unseen foundations beneath your feet. While others' success rests on sand, yours is anchored on stone. The storms that come will not shake you because your structure was forged in truth. When the time comes for God to elevate you, there will be no collapse. The same integrity that kept you grounded will keep you graceful. And those who doubted you will see what heaven always knew: that character is the highest calling, and you have answered it well. So continue to walk straight even when the path narrows. Continue to choose right when wrong seems easier. The one who sees in secret is preparing to reveal you openly, not as one who sought favor, but as one who earned heaven's trust. You have passed the test. The foundation of your future is secure because it was built with clean hands and a steadfast heart. Chosen one, nothing you did for God has been forgotten. The world forgets, people overlook, but heaven never loses record. There are books in eternity where your sacrifices are written: every tear, every silent offering, every act of kindness done without recognition. The angels remember what you did. They remember when you chose forgiveness over bitterness, when you helped someone who could give you nothing in return, when you gave even while empty. Those moments echoed louder than sermons. There were times when your heart ached from giving too much. You wondered if your compassion was weakness, if your mercy was being wasted. But heaven saw what you were doing. It was not weakness, it was worship. Each act of love became incense before the throne. Every small gesture, every unseen prayer, every quiet moment of service became spiritual currency that heaven treasures. You may not have realized it, but angels stood beside you, recording your obedience. They are heaven's historians, capturing every moment you chose light over darkness. When you held your tongue instead of responding in anger, they noted it. When you prayed for the one who betrayed you, they bowed their heads in reverence. When you blessed someone secretly, they rejoiced, for your kindness mirrored their own. The prophet Daniel once experienced this when an angel told him that from the first day he set his heart to understand and humble himself before God, his words were heard. The same is true for you. The moment you acted out of love and obedience, heaven heard and responded even if you have not yet seen the results. According to what is revealed in the book of Hebrews, chapter 6, verse 10. God is not unjust. He will not forget your work and the love you have shown him as you have helped his people and continue to help them. Those words are divine assurance. God does not forget. The memory of heaven is perfect. What you considered small, he calls significant. The things you gave in secret are now speaking for you in the spiritual realm. The prayers you whispered are still echoing. The love you poured out is still flowing, and the faith you exercised is still producing fruit in unseen ways. Some of the people you helped may never say thank you. Some may have taken your grace for granted. But you did not do it for them, you did it for him. That's why your reward cannot be stolen or diminished. God himself has written your name beside every deed of love, and his justice ensures that no act of faithfulness goes unrewarded. Heaven remembers not only your obedience but also your endurance. You stayed faithful when others gave up. You continued to love when it would have been easier to close your heart. That is why your season of divine remembrance has come. The same angels who recorded your sacrifice are now being sent to deliver your recompense. There is movement around your name in the heavenly registry. Favor that seemed delayed is being activated. Doors that were once sealed are unlocking because of seeds you planted long ago. Your acts of compassion have become open invitations for heaven's favor to visit you. Chosen one, never underestimate the power of your quiet faithfulness. Every small yes built a bridge toward divine fulfillment. Every hidden moment of service became a light in dark places. You have lived as a reflection of the one who gave everything without seeking applause. And just as the Father honored the Son, so will he honor you. Heaven has remembered, and heaven is responding. The angels who watched you sow in tears are now preparing to help you reap in joy. What you thought was forgotten is returning multiplied. Your generosity, your patience, your steadfast love, they are all finding their way back to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Chosen one, the turning has begun. What once pressed you down will soon lift you up. Heaven is orchestrating a holy reversal where loss becomes gain, rejection becomes redirection, and what once hurt you becomes the very proof of your calling. The shift is quiet, but it is unstoppable. God has stepped into your timeline, and the ground beneath your feet is beginning to tremble with justice. There were days when you asked, "How long?" Lord, while watching others succeed with ease, you wondered if obedience had failed you. But heaven kept saying, "Not yet." That delay was never a denial, it was divine staging. The tables could not turn until every piece was in place. Now, every unseen preparation is aligning into manifestation. The very thing that once buried you is becoming the foundation that will raise you higher. You endured humiliation and misunderstanding, yet you stayed faithful. You didn't chase revenge, you chose stillness, and that stillness became your sword. The hands that pointed against you will soon have to applaud you. The same mouths that spoke lies will speak your testimony, because when God redeems, he does it publicly. Your life is a living prophecy of reversal. Every wrong is being rewritten by righteousness. Every delay is being repaid in double. Every unseen act of integrity is summoning a visible harvest. You are stepping into a divine after the storm, after the silence, after the season of hiddenness. and in this after joy will overflow, as was spoken in the sacred texts of old, from the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 25. And I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten, the cankerworm, and the caterpillar, and the palmer worm, my great army which I sent among you. This is not mere poetry, it is prophecy. What the devourer stole, time, peace, relationships, opportunities, God Himself promises to restore, not by measure, but by overflow. The years you thought were wasted were actually being invested in your growth. The wilderness prepared your voice, your vision, and your virtue. And now, heaven whispers, collect what you left behind. For even the ashes of your past are fertile ground in God's hands. He does not discard the broken pieces, He repurposes them into beauty. Every scar is becoming a signature of grace. Every shattered dream a doorway to something greater. You will look back soon and realize that nothing was lost, only transformed, only reborn for glory. Chosen one. Divine balance is returning to your life. The valleys you walked through are becoming wells of blessing. The same people who once pitied you will seek your wisdom. The places that rejected you will call for your presence. And through it all, you will carry no bitterness, only brilliance, because your heart has been refined by fire and tempered by grace. This turning is not gentle, it is radical. It will not just change your situation, it will shift your atmosphere. You will sense peace where chaos once reigned, favor where rejection once lived. The reversal will be so evident that even your enemies will have to say, "Surely the hand of God is upon them." Now, as an act of faith, write these words below: I rise restored. Let it be more than a comment. Let it be a declaration. When you write it, you agree with heaven's decree over your life. You are not returning to what was, you are being restored into something better, stronger, and sacredly new. Let those 3 words echo beyond the screen and into the spirit realm: I rise restored. The tables have turned. Chosen one. What once worked against you now works for you. And soon, every tear you sowed will bloom into laughter beneath heaven's light. Chosen one. The season of unveiling has begun. What was once hidden beneath layers of silence is now emerging into the light. God is bringing public recognition to what was done in private faithfulness. The years when you obeyed quietly, served humbly, and trusted silently have built a foundation so deep that no storm can uproot what is about to rise. You see, heaven never forgets hidden labor. Every unseen act of obedience was like a seed buried in sacred soil, watered by your tears and warmed by your endurance. Now the soil breaks open, and the first shoots of divine reward are piercing the surface. Your faith has made sound in heaven, and the echo of it is now manifesting as favor on earth. This new season is not about striving, it is about shining. God is revealing you not for applause, but for assignment. The light that is coming through you will not point to your name, but to His. You have been forged in humility so that glory could pass through you without pride taking root. The harvest that comes now will be visible, but the fragrance of it will be worship. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, chapter 15, verse 58. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. This verse is your confirmation none of it was wasted. The lonely nights, the patient prayers, the unseen giving, the quiet endurance, they are all gathered now like precious pearls in heaven's hands. God is stringing them together into a crown of recognition that only the obedient can wear. Chosen one, when God lifts you, it is never just about you. You are becoming a signpost, a living sermon that points others toward His goodness. Your story will speak for the silent, inspire the weary, and remind the broken that faith still works. When people ask, "How did this happen for you?" your only answer will be, "God remembered." Imagine your journey like a lamp being lit at dawn. For years, it seemed your flame flickered unseen, overshadowed by the night. But now, the morning has come, and every small spark becomes radiant. The world will not understand how you endured so much and still remained pure. But those who know the language of faith will recognize that the glow around you is not luck. It is legacy. And as this light grows brighter, I want to speak from the heart. If these words have stirred something in your spirit, if they have watered dry places within you, then don't just receive, respond. When you like, share, or subscribe, you are not feeding an algorithm, you are fueling a mission. Every click becomes a spark that carries this flame farther, to hearts that are still waiting in the dark. And if you feel led to donate, do it as worship. Think of your giving as oil poured into a lamp, keeping the message burning for others who need to hear it. Your seed becomes part of the light that guides someone else home. There is no pressure, only invitation. The same way you've been fed, you now have the chance to feed others not with food, but with faith. Every act of support, every share, every offering of your hand and heart is like building another bridge across the waters of despair for those still searching for hope. You are not merely helping a message, you are partnering with heaven's movement. Chosen one, this is your moment of recognition, not for fame, but for faithfulness. Heaven's applause is already sounding in your direction. The season of silence is breaking, and the fruit of your endurance is ready to be tasted. Walk into this new light with humility and gratitude, for the same God who hid you is now revealing you for His glory. Let your life shine brightly, not to draw attention, but to draw souls. The time has come for the hidden lamp to stand on the hill, and its flame is your obedience. You are the living proof that patience is never wasted and that surrender always ends in splendor. Chosen one, this is the season where God rewrites what was stolen. Every loss that tore through your life, every friendship that broke, every opportunity that slipped away, every dream that seemed to die is being revisited by heaven's hand. Divine justice is not just about judgment, it is about restoration. The God who saw what was taken will not merely replace it, He will multiply it. You have walked through seasons where it felt like pieces of you were scattered by the wind. You tried to gather them, but the harder you reached, the further they seemed to drift. What you did not know was that God Himself was allowing what was temporary to be stripped away, so that what is eternal could take its place. The losses you mourned were not subtraction, they were preparation for a different kind of abundance. There is a sacred truth that every child of God learns in pain. Some things must fall apart so that something holy can be rebuilt. The breaking was not punishment, it was pruning. God removed what could not carry your next level. What felt like robbery was actually refining. You were not being emptied, you were being readied. Now, as heaven turns its gaze toward you, the process of reversal begins. The time you thought was wasted is being redeemed. The years that seemed barren will soon bear fruit. God specializes in using what the enemy meant for evil as raw material for miracles. As the prophet wrote in the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 17, "Instead of bronze I will bring gold, and instead of iron I will bring silver, instead of wood, bronze, and instead of stones, iron. I will make peace your governor and righteousness your ruler." Those words are not ancient history, they are present reality. God is upgrading what was diminished. The currency of your suffering is being exchanged for the wealth of glory. The peace you begged for is coming as a ruler, not a guest. The righteousness you clung to in darkness is now becoming the crown of your restoration. Chosen one, there is no loss in the kingdom that remains unrepaired. Every prayer you thought fell to the ground is now being gathered. Every broken relationship is being redeemed in divine timing. Every missed chance is finding its way back in better form. God never returns what you lost in the same condition. He restores it renewed, refined, and redefined. Your story is beginning to curve upward again. The ashes that once covered your hands will soon shimmer with new creation. You will not simply regain what was taken. You will become a steward of multiplied blessing. The same voice that called Lazarus from the tomb now speaks over your circumstances. Come forth. And what seemed dead is stirring again. The restoration that comes from heaven is not limited to material things. It reaches into the soul. The joy you thought was gone forever is returning, but deeper, wiser, quieter. The peace you lost in the storm will rise like dawn over your spirit, steady and unshakable. Even your confidence, worn thin from waiting, will return not as arrogance, but as divine assurance. Chosen one. This is not compensation for loss, it is transformation through loss. You are not being repaid simply for what you endured, you are being entrusted with new authority born from endurance. What you once carried as pain will now carry power. The places where you wept will become altars of worship. The very areas that once felt cursed will overflow with grace. Heaven is evening the scales. The story that began in ashes will end in glory. You will not be remembered for what was taken, but for what was restored in your hands. God is faithful, and His restoration never returns empty. Chosen one, heaven has reached the moment of coronation. You have walked through fire, faced rejection, endured silence, and yet you never bowed to the darkness. You did not lose your faith in the famine. You did not trade your integrity for convenience. You stood firm when others fled. And now, the one who called you from the beginning is ready to crown your endurance with glory. This is the crown moment, the turning point where obedience transforms into inheritance. It is not about human applause or titles. It is about divine recognition. God Himself is acknowledging your perseverance. The crown He places upon you is invisible to the world but radiant in the spirit. It is made of faithfulness, humility, and trust forged through trial. You may have imagined your reward would arrive as riches or ease, but heaven's rewards come as revelation. You will see with clarity what once confused you. You will understand why certain doors closed, why certain people left, why you had to walk alone. The crown you receive today is wisdom, holy insight born from endurance. When the world sees you next, they will not recognize you, because the fire that once threatened to destroy you has become your light. The heaviness that once bowed your shoulders has turned into the weight of authority. You carry heaven's fragrance, now the scent of those who have overcome. As the apostle wrote in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 4, verse 8, "Henceforth there is laid up for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, Milu, shall give me at that day, and not to me only, but unto all them also that love His appearing." That promise is not distant, it is unfolding now. You have reached the threshold where heaven begins to adorn you with what cannot be taken away. The same God who watched you suffer in silence is now clothing you with victory in secret. The world may not see the crown, but heaven does, and so do the forces of darkness that once tried to break you. They now bow before the authority forged in your affliction. Chosen one, this crown is more than honor, it is assignment. Those who wear it carry light into places of despair. You are being anointed not just to receive blessings, but to release them. You will speak, and peace will enter rooms. You will pray, and the atmosphere will change. You will walk, and hope will follow your footsteps. This is why the battles were so fierce. Crowns are not given to the careless. Only the tested, the purified, the steadfast receive such weight. Your obedience has proven your readiness, and your faith has earned heaven's trust. Do not look back at the years of waiting as wasted. They were the refinery where your metal was shaped, where your heart was softened, where your vision was refined. And now, as heaven lowers this invisible diadem onto your spirit, the Father whispers, "You have endured well." Chosen one, I want you to mark this moment in faith. Type the number 444 below. This is not coincidence, it is covenant. 4 is the number of divine order and stability. 444 means heaven's foundation is now complete beneath your feet. When you write that number, you are declaring that your season of wandering has ended and your position is secure. It is a prophetic act saying, "Lord, I accept my crown and I stand in your order." The weight you feel is not exhaustion, it is elevation. You are being lifted, shaped, and established. The tests you passed in silence are now becoming testimonies in sound. The glory resting on you will not fade. It will only grow brighter. So wear your invisible crown with quiet confidence. Let humility be its polish, and gratitude its shine. You have been faithful through fire, now rise, crowned in light. Chosen one, when heaven rewards, it never stops at you. God's blessings are not reservoirs, they are rivers meant to flow. You are not only being blessed, you are becoming a carrier of divine reward. The favor that once seemed personal is expanding outward, touching every life connected to yours. This is the mystery of divine overflow when God fills you. He intends to reach others through you. For years, you poured out even when your own cup felt empty. You encouraged while weary, prayed while hurting, gave while lacking. Now, God is pouring back into you not so you can hoard, but so you can pour again without fear of running dry. The same hands that once trembled in surrender are now steady as vessels of grace. You are the bridge between heaven's abundance and humanity's need. There will be people who find peace simply by standing near you, not because of your strength, but because of the presence you carry. You have become a living well in a thirsty land. Every time you speak, truth will flow. Every time you move, hope will follow. Your reward is not only visible favor, it is invisible authority, a fragrance of heaven that others cannot explain but deeply feel. The world measures success by accumulation, but God measures it by distribution. The blessing that arrives in your life now comes with instruction. Let it flow. Do not clutch it tightly, release it and watch it multiply. When you share joy, it expands. When you speak kindness, it echoes. When you bless others, heaven increases your capacity to carry more. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms. Chapter 23, verse 5. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup runs over. This ancient song is not about excess, it is about overflow. God anoints to overflow, not to decorate. Your cup runs over because you are meant to spill light into dark places. You are a chosen vessel, and the oil upon you is not ornamental, it is functional. Wherever you go, it will leave a trail of healing, wisdom, and peace. You will notice it soon, doors opening that you never knocked on, people being drawn to you for reasons they cannot name, atmospheres shifting when you enter the room. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations that the river has begun to flow through you. What once felt like heaviness will now feel like holy momentum. But remember, carrying divine reward also carries responsibility. The oil must stay pure, Pride contaminates, but humility preserves. Guard your spirit like a lamp in the night. Keep your flame steady, fueled by prayer and thanksgiving. Your reward is not only the blessing you see, it is the intimacy with the one who gave it. Chosen one, you were not just rewarded for obedience, you were commissioned through it. You are now heaven's courier, delivering peace where there was pain, light where there was confusion, truth where there were lies. You are walking proof that obedience births inheritance, and inheritance births impact. The world is desperate for what you now carry. It does not need perfection. It needs presence. When you speak, your words will carry the scent of redemption. When you comfort, your touch will carry the strength of heaven. The divine reward that has entered your life is not a crown to keep, it is a torch to share. Let the oil flow. Let the light spread. Let the fruit of your obedience nourish those still wandering in wilderness. You have been chosen not to shine alone, but to ignite others. The true mark of the chosen is not what they possess, but what they release. And now, the same hand that blessed you whispers again, "Go," and let others taste the goodness you have received. Chosen one, heaven is shifting mantles. What you are stepping into now is not merely blessing, it is authority. The seasons of testing, of pruning, of quiet obedience were not only preparation for reward, they were training for rulership. You have proven trustworthy in the wilderness, and now God entrusts you with the weight of spiritual responsibility. A mantle is not a robe of prestige, it is a garment of purpose. When heaven transfers a mantle, it is passing the flame from one generation to another. You are being clothed not just with favor, but with function. The spirit that once carried others is now resting upon you. The prayers you prayed for strength are becoming answers for others through your life. This moment is sacred. The mantle does not fall on the ambitious, it rests on the faithful. It comes to those who said yes when obedience cost them everything. It finds the hearts that remained pure when bitterness could have taken root. You are one of those hearts. Heaven recognizes your consistency, the willingness to serve when unseen, to love when unloved, to give when empty. There was a reason the battles intensified near the end of your testing. The closer you came to your anointing, the more the enemy sought to weary you. He knew a transfer was approaching, but you held the line. You refused to surrender the ground of faith. Because of that, the mantle is now descending custom-fitted for your calling, marked with your obedience. The voice of God thundered in the second book of Kings, chapter 2, verse 15. When the sons of the prophets saw him, they said, "The spirit of Elijah rests on Elisha." And they came to meet him and bowed to the ground before him. So it is with you. The same spirit that empowered your predecessors, the faithful, the intercessors, the visionaries, is now resting upon you. What once inspired you will now operate through you. You are not inheriting a name. You are inheriting a purpose. You will stand where others once stood, but you will see further, because your view includes their victories and your own perseverance. Chosen one. A mantle does not make you greater than others, it makes you responsible for others. The oil of calling is heavy because it carries souls within it. Those who are drawn to your light are not to worship you, but to learn from the God who shines through you. You will teach not through perfection, but through presence. The authority you now carry is to heal, to reconcile, to awaken. But remember this: a mantle burns brighter only in surrender. You cannot hold it with pride or fear. You must wear it in humility, anchored in devotion. The anointing that rests upon you is alive. It breathes and grows with your obedience. Feed it with worship, shield it with purity, and wield it with love. The transfer of mantles is not random, it is prophetic. God chooses the ones who understand both the weight and the wonder of stewardship. You are now part of a lineage of light, a continuation of voices that refuse to let truth die in their generation. Your yes is their victory echoing forward. Do not underestimate what heaven has just placed upon you. Every word you speak carries weight. Every prayer you release alters atmospheres. The same fire that once refined you now radiates from you. You are no longer a survivor of trials. You are a vessel of transmission. Chosen one, the time of receiving has turned into a time of releasing. The mantle on your shoulders is not for display but for duty. Wherever you go, it will signal to heaven and hell alike this one carries divine authority. Wear it with reverence, guard it with purity. Let it burn, and may its light guide countless others home. Chosen one, the light upon you can no longer be hidden. You tried to stay unseen, content to serve quietly, but heaven has decided that your radiance must rise. What God placed in you is not meant for corners or shadows. It was designed to shine in the open. The time has come for your light to guide others through the darkness that once tried to consume you. You may not realize it, but every battle you fought was shaping this very glow. Your pain has turned to power, your scars into lanterns. Like a candle that burns itself to give light, your sacrifice has illuminated the path for many who follow. The trials you survived were not in vain, they were oil for your lamp. Now that lamp must stand on the hilltop. When people see you now, they will see more than a survivor. They will see a signal, a living testimony that obedience still wins, that faith still works, that purity still pays off. You are not just walking into purpose, you are purpose revealed. The glory on you is not a spotlight, it's a sunrise, steady and unstoppable. The ancient words recorded in the book of Philippians chapter 2, verse 15. Speak clearly that you may be blameless and harmless. Children of God without fault in the midst of a crooked and perverse generation, among whom you shine as lights in the world. This verse is not a reminder of perfection. It is a declaration of identity. You shine not because you are flawless, but because you are faithful. The light you carry is not artificial. It is born of truth and trial. Every wound you surrendered to God became a window for His glory to pass through. The more you were broken, the more His light found space to shine. And as this message reaches you, I speak from the deepest sincerity of heart. If these words have touched you, encouraged you, or reignited something inside, don't let them stop here. Let them travel. When you like, share, or subscribe, you are not simply interacting, you are sending light forward. Each act is like holding a mirror up to the sun. It reflects hope farther than you can see. Your share is a spark that might land in the heart of someone silently struggling tonight. Your like is a small flame that signals, I am here, and I still believe. And when you subscribe, you are keeping the lamp burning not for algorithms but for alignment. You are staying connected to a stream of faith designed to keep your fire steady. And if your spirit feels stirred to donate, do so as if you were adding oil to the lampstand of heaven. Every offering is a drop of light that helps this message reach further corners of the earth. It's not transaction, it's transformation. You are fueling a mission that turns pain into purpose and silence into song. You are building a bridge of hope for the next chosen one who needs to hear that their light still matters. The world is starving for truth, drowning in noise, and desperate for real illumination. You are part of heaven's answer to that darkness. Your voice, your generosity, your engagement, all of it becomes sacred when done with intention. You are helping others see the same light that once found you. And as this light continues to rise, Know that you are not shining alone. You are part of a constellation, thousands of chosen ones across the earth, each holding their flame high, each reflecting a piece of the same glory. Together, you form a sky that darkness cannot erase. So let your light speak. Let your kindness echo. Let your story stand as proof that God still makes beauty from ashes. Every comment, every share, every word you release in faith becomes a star in someone else's night. You are seen, you are called, you are radiant. And as you continue to rise, may your flame draw the lost, heal the broken, and glorify the one who lit you in the first place. Chosen one, the acts of obedience that once felt small are echoing into eternity. The choices you made when no one was watching have begun to shape ripples that will outlast your lifetime. Obedience is never just for a moment, it becomes legacy. What you built in faith will outlive you. What you surrendered in tears will become inheritance for those yet unborn. Every yes you whispered in the dark became a sound wave that heaven carried across generations. You thought you were surviving for yourself, but you were paving a road for others. The strength you found in your wilderness will become a map for someone else's deliverance. The prayers you prayed through pain will become protection for children you haven't even met. That is how heaven writes stories. One act of obedience turns into 1,000 blessings. There were times when you questioned whether your faith mattered, whether your sacrifices were worth the cost. You saw no fruit, no change, no visible reward. But God was working beneath the surface, weaving eternal purpose into the fibers of your story. You were not building for applause. You were laying foundations that will hold future generations. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 9. Know therefore that the Lord your God is God. He is the faithful God, keeping his covenant of love to 1,000 generations of those who love him and keep his commandments. Those words are your reminder that obedience never expires. God's faithfulness does not fade when your lifetime ends. Every act of devotion multiplies across time. Every moment you chose righteousness over rebellion planted seeds that will sprout in hearts you may never know. Even the unseen sacrifices, your silent prayers, your quiet acts of forgiveness are being recorded as eternal testimonies. Chosen one, you have become a generational turning point. You are the bridge between what was broken and what will be blessed. Where others once sowed pain, you have sown peace. Where cycles of fear once ruled, you have planted faith. Your obedience has become a wall of light around your bloodline. Heaven is writing your lineage differently because of your steadfast heart. You may not see the full picture yet, but heaven sees the ripple, somewhere in the unseen. Your persistence has shifted destinies. You have interrupted patterns that existed for years, simply by refusing to give up. And because you stood firm, generations after you will walk in freedom you never had to fight for. That is the power of one obedient life. Your legacy is not carved in stone, it is etched in souls. Every life you've touched, every person you've forgiven, every word of hope you've spoken, these are the monuments of heaven. They cannot be toppled because they are built on divine truth. When you leave this earth, your obedience will keep speaking, whispering through time that faith is never wasted. The enemy tried to convince you that your life was insignificant, but God smiles now, for your faith has become a blueprint for others. You are the living evidence that one person's surrender can rewrite an entire story. Your obedience has turned into melody, a song that heaven will continue to play long after your earthly journey is done. Chosen one, never doubt the reach of your faith. The world may forget your name, but heaven never will. Angels will tell of your perseverance. Children will walk in peace because of your prayers. Lives will heal in the light of your example. The obedience that once cost you everything will keep paying forward through eternity. The eternal echoes of your faith will never fade. Every yes still resounds, every sacrifice still sings. And heaven, even now, is smiling because your obedience became the sound of redemption ringing through generations. Chosen one, you have reached the threshold of fulfillment. The path behind you glows with the light of lessons learned, tears redeemed, and promises kept. What once felt uncertain has now become clear. Every step, every struggle, every sacrifice was guided by divine hands. You did not walk this journey in vain. Heaven has seen, heaven has recorded, and heaven now rewards. This is the unveiling, the moment when what was long hidden in faith bursts forth in visible glory. The tests that refined you have completed their work. The doors that once resisted you now open without force. The favor that was delayed is now delivered, not as a mere blessing, but as a divine inheritance. You have crossed from promise to possession. Look back for a moment. See how the thread of obedience runs through every season, the dark valleys, the silent nights, the unexpected turns. Even in times when you doubted your strength, your faith remained alive. It flickered, but it never went out. That flame became a signal to heaven, a steady light that said, "Still, I trust you." God has taken that light and turned it into a crown of fulfillment. The time of endurance has given birth to the time of enjoyment. The pain that once pressed you has become the pearl of wisdom in your hands. You have become what trials could not destroy, a vessel carrying divine strength wrapped in gentle grace. As the apostle wrote in the book of James, chapter 1, verse 12, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him." These words now breathe in your story. You stood the test, and heaven calls you blessed. The crown of life is not just a distant reward. It is the awareness you carry now, that your life belongs to something eternal. You are living proof that love endured through pain is the greatest worship of all. Chosen one. The divine reward is not merely what you receive, it is what you become. You have become the embodiment of endurance, the reflection of grace, the living echo of divine faithfulness. Heaven is no longer silent about you. The very realms that once watched your battle now celebrate your victory. Angels mark this moment, not because it is an ending, but because it is the beginning of legacy. You have become a torchbearer of divine truth. What you endured has become your message. What once broke you now fuels your compassion. The same fire that refined you will now ignite others. You are heaven's evidence that no suffering is wasted and no faith is forgotten. Your story is no longer about survival, it is about stewardship. You are entrusted with wisdom that only those who have walked through fire can speak with authority. When you open your mouth, generations will listen. Not to your pain, but to your perseverance, not to your wounds, but to the God who healed them. Chosen one, stand tall now. This is the moment heaven whispers, "Well done." The applause of angels fills the unseen. The same hands that held you in weakness now place peace upon your shoulders. The same eyes that watched you weep now watch you rise. You have crossed the finish line, but the race continues through those you've inspired. You are the living testimony of divine reward, proof that obedience is never forgotten, that pain can be holy, and that love always wins. Heaven applauds your yes. Earth will feel its echo. The fullness of God's promise is no longer ahead of you, it rests within you, shining quietly, eternally, undeniably. Chosen one. Take a breath. The journey you've just walked through, these words, these revelations, these moments of awakening were not random. They were divinely timed for you. Heaven paused your path long enough to remind you of who you are, of what you carry, and of how deeply loved you have always been. This is not goodbye. It is a continuation, a spark passed from this message to your heart. You are leaving this moment different, clearer, stronger, more certain of your calling. The story of your obedience has just begun to bloom, and its fragrance will linger in every space you enter. If these words have touched something sacred within you, if they have stirred tears, peace, or strength, let them echo outward. When you like, share, and subscribe, it's not just a gesture, it's a ripple of light. You are helping the message find its way into another weary heart, another silent room, another soul on the edge of giving up. And as you comment below, right from the heart, tell what part of this journey reached you most. Your words might be the exact confirmation someone else needs tonight. Heaven uses small actions to accomplish great awakenings. What you write could be the reason another chosen one realizes they are not alone. This community is not built on noise, it's built on purpose, prayer, and presence. Every time you return, every time you share, you are helping build a sanctuary of truth in the middle of a noisy world. So go now, carrying your light. Continue to walk boldly, love deeply, and live faithfully. The world is waiting for the glow only you can give. The journey continues. Chosen one, and your story is far from over.